And so what the challenge is for an organization is, how do you get the most out of those guys? So, Stephen A., when you had been covering Iverson, there was a way to get the most out of him, right? But it wasn't easy. You had to figure it out. And I think that's the challenge of the organization. But you loved him for what reason? Why did you love Iverson? You covered him. Why did people love him? Right,
because he performed.
That's right. And I think the question is, and Joel, you just said, did perform against your Knicks on one leg. So there is part of this, if you want to critique it or not, you say Joel gave everything he had and played probably through an injury last playoff. So you like that. I'm looking at Perk. You're going to say something else. But, Stephen A., that's the challenge of any organization. How do you get your number one player to play the best they possibly can in a league where these guys are the hardest to manage?
Well, first of all, good morning, Stephen A. Happy Sunday. I'm sitting up here, too. Yes. You don't just have to ask Bob a question. Damn it, you can ask me a question, too.
Okay.
Here's the thing, right? Daryl Morey is delusional, okay? The process is not processing no more, and the franchise doesn't belong to Joel Embiid. The franchise belongs to Tyrese.
Have young players that are improving and are playing well right now. They're all hoping one of their guys becomes a top player in the world, a top 5 player in the world, because that is required to win the championship. It doesn't happen without one of these special players. And so we're building around Joel. We've built around Joel. We continue to plan to build around Joel because he's
I'm going to do my due diligence and build around you, whether that's through the draft and go and get free agents that's out there to help build around you, because you are that dude. Tyrese Maxey is that guy. Joel Embiid would never be healthy again.
There he is. Stephen A., do you agree with Morey here?
Yes and no. I agree with him in terms of when you look at the talent that Joel Embiid is. If he were healthy, obviously he's a difference maker. I saw him average damn near 35 a game against my New York Knicks in the first round last year on one leg, for crying out loud. We know how great of a talent Joel Embiid is, but this is one of the things, and I can't wait to hear Bob's response to what I'm about to say. In all seriousness, I'm not joking. When you look at Joel Embiid, one of the reputations that Daryl Morey has had is that he caters overly, I might add, to his stars. And so when I look at it from that standpoint, and I'm thinking about Joel Embiid and the need for him to be healthy come postseason time, well, what assistance is he receiving? What provocation? What is compelling him on the part of the Philadelphia 76ers to make that happen? Because Daryl Morey is credible of an executive as he has been throughout his career. His willingness to cater overly to stars has opened room for them to get away with a lot of things they shouldn't get away with, and not necessarily have themselves as ready as they can be, because he's allowed a little bit more latitude than a typical executive might.
Stephen A., you covered Iverson, right? Of course you did, right?
Yes, I did.
So
yes, I did.
No league has to manage its stars more than the NBA. It's just what it is. There's stars in every sport. And I find that stars...
He's not healthy, I get it. Look at the pace. Tyrese Maxey wants to play with pace. Joel Embiid, once again, walking into the screen. Watch this here. Walking, little trot, little jog. Like, you don't have that. You look at a guy like Jokic, who is probably not, you know, the most athletic guy, but Denver are one of the fastest teams offensively for us pace-wise in the NBA. Why is that? Because Jokic is in shape. Jokic is healthy. Joel Embiid is not that guy no more.
Go ahead.
I will say this, and I want to bring this to you, Bob. He has been through a lot, though. He's been through so many injuries over the course of his career. You think about what Kawhi went through and what Joel went through. They're both dealing with something similar, and that's constant swelling and managing the swelling. So I take it to you, Bob, from your perspective in the front office, how would you handle the situation?
Okay, so who thought, Stephen A., you could jump in here, when the Sixers signed Paul George, they'd be 11th in the East with 31 games to go? Nobody. Right?
Nobody.
Nobody. No. So, no, I'm just making a point. I'm not criticizing anybody. Who thought they would be a top 3-4 seed in the East? I think
Everyone.
most everybody.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
So you look back as a GM, and Sean's asked me, signing Paul George, it wasn't just the Sixers that went after Paul George. There was a multiple amount of
time again. If you watch, right, what?
I'm saying you are. I'm saying you are right. I actually believe you. I'm just simply saying, to make the comparison between him and Allen Iverson, Bob, Perk. Allen Iverson, you had to peel off the court. That brother wanted to play all the time. He never thought about having this much time off. And it's legitimate injuries on the part of Joel Embiid. We're not questioning that. But damn, he's injured a lot.
Earlier this season, there was a team meeting. Joel Embiid was called out for tardiness. over the course of the season, there has been levels of frustration as far as whether he's going to play on any given night. Sometimes teammates, coaches, they don't know on any given night if Joel Embiid is going to play. So the Sixers, whether it's in the offseason, whenever, there's going to be hard conversations about availability, about health. That's just the reality of it, because availability is the biggest component to winning and championships. Bob, you know that. You guys could have had a three-peat if Kevin Durant was still healthy there.
I'm going to let Pert go, but the best ability is availability.
I know, and he's never available. And when he is available, guess what? He doesn't look healthy. We have the footage to show it. It's not just about being available. Look at this. Walking into screens. Look how he...
In the East, not good enough. They know it. Trade deadline's over, Shams. It's over. You covered it well. So now you have 31 games to go. What I always wanted was clarity. Give me clarity. And with clarity, you need health. So for the next 31 games, I'm saying we got to be healthy, guys. And then we'll find out how good we are or not. Paul George, Joel, and Maxey have not played together enough. And if they don't play well, then you make decisions. But they got to play together a little bit.
Go ahead, Stephen A.
I get where you're coming from. It's just that we can't ignore it. I love me some Joel Embiid, but what happens is when you look healthy enough to play in the Olympics and then you disappear for a month and a half, 2 months, and then you come into training camp and you're not ready. Remember that whole brouhaha over that.